يا أمة الإسلام بشرى لن يطول بك الهوان قد لاح فجرك باسما فلترقبي ذاك الزمان.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray your Ramadan is going well. If you are enjoying these videos, please share some feedback in the comment section below and just share one lesson that you learned from today's video. Also, if you have any suggestions about some topics you'd like me to talk about, I still haven't finished recording this series, so please leave those comments below. Today's dream I saw in America in 2013. I was being held at the time in a supermax prison. A supermax prison is the highest security prison in the United States of America. It is a prison which the most dangerous prisoners are held in. So prisoners who are so dangerous that they cannot be held with other prisoners because they've either killed or harmed prison officers or they've killed or harmed other prisoners, they are kept in a supermax prison. So the supermax prison that I was in, you had death row prisoners there, people that had killed multiple members of the same families and they had carried out really horrific violent crimes. They were there, and then there was me. Anyway, so the regime of a supermax prison is basically you are in your cell 24 hours a day, 1 hour 3 times a week. You're allowed out on recreation in an underground dog cage. Every time you leave your cell, you're allowed to have a shower 3 times a week for 15 minutes each. Every time you leave your cell, you're subjected to a full strip search and you're put in shackles, leg shackles and hand shackles. And so these were the circumstances under which I was in. My first Ramadan that came, there was some small quantity of food that the prison would give to any prisoners that were fasting for Ramadan. It was not enough. And there was no dates in that prison. So what I would do is to open my fast, I would get raisins. I bought some raisins from the prison order system, from the commissary where you place an order and a few days later they bring you the product that you ordered. So I would buy these raisins and I would open my fast with raisins. And my diary reflection from that time, my diary, in it I said that in a letter that I wrote to my family about this, I was telling them that alhamdulillah in my life I've eaten so many dates, really nice dates from all over the world. If Allah wants me to eat raisins and open my fast with raisins, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for whatever He gives me. So I would be in my cell all day and I would be working on my case. Then in the evenings I would sit there, and when I saw that the sun had set, then I would take some raisins and I would open my fast with them, and then I would eat and then I would pray and I would try to get some sleep. Meanwhile, other inmates, other prisoners are banging on the walls and shouting and screaming all day and all night long. That was the circumstances under which I was in that prison. One night I saw a dream in Ramadan that I was eating the most delicious, fresh, juiciest dates that I've ever tasted. And when I woke up from that dream, it was so real that I was like salivating from the taste of those dates. I could feel those dates in my mouth. So that's the end of the dream. I mean, it could be that because I was missing dates so much that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave me the taste of them even though I didn't have access to them. But the wisdom behind it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows. 3 short reflections from this dream. The first one, the sweetness of life, it comes from Allah. Even in hardship, even in suffering, even in calamity, even in prison, even in hospital, even in poverty, even in suffering, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you a sweetness to life that you cannot get any other way if your life was good. Of course, you should never ask Allah for hardship. You should never ask Allah for suffering. Rather, you should say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us the good of this world and give us the good of the hereafter and save us from the hellfire. So the sweetness of life comes from Allah. I was in a place where I was in prison and I didn't have access to proper food, and the food in that particular prison was really bad and really low quantity. I lost about 20 kilograms in weight, which is like 44 pounds or 3 stones. In those 2 years I lost a lot of weight because the food was very, very basic, and I lost a lot of muscle mass. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me sweetness. He gave me contentment, He gave me peace, even with the foods that I was eating and experiencing. So that's the first reflection. The second reflection: think of the wonders of Allah's creation. You know, this food that we eat, the different types of fruit and vegetables and meats and milk and honey, and the different types of food that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for us, the different flavors and colors and textures and tastes. If Allah wanted, He could have made that food bland and unattractive, but out of His mercy and out of His, not even His mercy, out of His bounty and blessing, He made the food look good and smell good and taste good. So whenever you eat anything, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has made. Whenever you eat something that you find delicious, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has made this food, or He has made the ingredients for this food delicious, or He has inspired people in order to make this delicious food, because He could have made it boring. And where would we have been then? It would have been a struggle for us to sustain ourselves. And the third reflection from this is hardship is temporary. No hardship lasts forever. There is always an end. Everything in this life is temporary. When you are fasting and you're hungry and you're feeling hungry, when you open your fast, can you remember how you were feeling a few hours ago? Can you try to get your brain to imagine how you were feeling a few hours ago? You can't. In the same way, in that supermax prison, I would open my fast with raisins. But I can't imagine doing that, because out of the mercy of Allah, He has taken that feeling away from me. Now I'm able to eat dates, alhamdulillah. And whenever I eat dates, I remember that that's what it was. That's the situation that I was in. And look where I am now. Look where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He brought me now. So hardship is temporary. Suffering is temporary. Whatever you're going through is temporary. It's not going to stay there forever. It's always going to come to an end. So this was today's dream and today's reflections. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment, an anecdote or something that we can all benefit from, and please share this comment to someone who may benefit from it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أمة الإسلام بشرى لن يطول بك الهوان قد لاح فجرك باسما فلترقبي ذاك الزمان يا أمة الإسلام بشرى لن يطول بك الهوان قد لاح فجرك باسما فلترقبي ذاك